Hey, everybody, this is Charles Cook. Great to be with you today. I am the founding partner here at Cook Baxter and super happy to be with you. We've got some crazy stuff to talk about today, but I'm going to do it in English and Spanish. Hoy día soy el abogado Charles Cook, fundador abogado aquí en Cook Baxter. Un placer de estar aquí con ustedes hoy día. Tengo muchas cosas de hablar hoy día. Es como estábamos bien callados por una semana y de repente una explosión de información, cambios y típicamente malas noticias por inmigrantes en la administración de Trump. Extraño la administración de Biden, no porque eran buenos en inmigración, pero porque descansaron. Trump nunca descansa. Diga lo que quiere decir de Trump, pero nunca descansa este hombre. Él va a vivir cada minuto de su vida en la fuente pública. Say what you want about Trump, but it's never a dull moment. I do miss the dull moments in the Biden administration. Haremos todo en inglés y en español hoy día porque hay tanto que te quiero compartir primero en inglés y de ahí en español. I'm going to go first in English and I'm going to go in Spanish. But the first thing you have to talk about today, and how could you not talk about it? The Trump H-1B proclamation. How can you not talk about it? It is the talk of the town. It was funny because last Friday I didn't see it come out, and I got a phone call from CNN International and said, "Hey, would you come on in 40 minutes and do a thing in private time Europe on the H-1B?" I said, "Sure, happy to do that." Quickly read what Trump wrote, which didn't take very long because it's so poorly written and frankly so untrue. It was easy to form an opinion about really the legality of this particular proclamation. Surprise, it may surprise you, but yeah, it has no basis in law or fact. I know it addresses the concerns of a tiny minority of people that voted for Trump, the true nativists, the H-1B haters, but it's just not based in reality. Sorry. And the president of the United States does not have the legal authority to create a tax. This is a tax. Only Congress can create taxes. This is a tax. It's illegal. And we anticipate litigation will be filed and it will be struck down relatively quickly. Now, whether that makes the Supreme Court, I don't know, but the district court judges have to follow the law. Unlike the Supreme Court, they can make whatever they want or reinterpret the law however they want. But under the law, the president, the executive branch can actually create fees, but only so far as they reflect the cost of the activity. Anything beyond the cost is, you guessed it, a tax. President can't tax, only Congress can tax. Seems like it's pretty clear to me. La primera cosa que quise hablar hoy día es de la proclamación de Trumpazo por los $100,000. Es una multa, es un impuesto, es un cargo, es un impuesto, y es ilegal. El presidente de los Estados Unidos no tiene el poder de poner un impuesto, solamente el Congreso puede hacer un impuesto. And this was reflected in the agency's own actions. 3 separate agencies wrote press releases the day after. I think they were caught by surprise, honestly. I don't think Rubio had any idea this was coming. They each interpreted the proclamation differently. I mean, it was effective on Sunday morning at 12:01. Immigration's already accepting applications, but they have no way to accept the fee. So we're hearing that they're just going to hold them in abeyance until they get more guidance. We're going to let let's let a federal judge give them guidance. I think that'd be the coolest thing. Let a federal judge give them guidance. So that's the proclamation. I know there's really great lawyers working on this, and let's let them a little bit of time to get it right and get this filed, and probably be hearing from a judge by the next week or so. Creo que va a haber litigación pronto. Hay buenos abogados trabajando en esto y soy confidente que tendremos la terminación de la proclamación dentro de una semana más o menos. The second thing I want to talk today about was the DOL H-1B initiative. DOL announced yesterday in a rather bizarre press release, is there any other kind for this administration, that they were going to make sure that H-1Bs weren't used to replace U.S. workers, which, of course, is the law. They should have been doing that for the last I don't know, 35 years. That's been the law for the last 35 years. If an H-1B worker is hired to replace a U.S. worker, that shouldn't be allowed. I agree. There's very little evidence of that, by the way. Very little evidence of that. Oh, Vanessa's calling me. What's wrong, Vanessa? Vanessa telling me my audio's not working again? Oh, it's buffering. Not working on Facebook. Well, it tells me it's working on Facebook, Vanessa. I'm really sorry. You'll have to go to YouTube then. I don't know. That's a Facebook problem. I can't. Facebook's got problems sometimes, but YouTube has got it, and Twitter has it, as well as LinkedIn. So we're good there. I'm sorry, Vanessa. What do you get? You know, it's Facebook. Maybe somebody on Facebook doesn't like this. The deal with the H-1B initiative, again, they should be taking jobs from these workers. I get it. I agree. They shouldn't. I've never seen a client do that. Certainly my clients have never done that. My clients have used it to hire for people they can't find in the United States. And that's what the H-1B is for. By the way, there's no labor market test. Congress created this visa so that employers could hire the best people. And that's been borne out. What do we have? Like 50% of the Silicon Valley companies are led by former H-1Bs. I mean, yeah, this is the way it works. This is what it's an innovation visa. It's for innovation. The moment that Trump issued his proclamation is the moment people in Europe started clapping. Yay, they can come here and help us. They're going somewhere, my friend, or they'll stay home. All right, the H-1B initiative. La iniciativa de la visa H-1B es el Departamento de Labor es de hacer más investigaciones de empleadores que usan la H-1B, pero no lo están haciendo. Keep in mind that immigration has been doing FD&S audits for, I don't know, 20 years on the H-1B. Do you know how many, this is interesting, Trump was complaining about when he did the proclamation, all these employers abusing the process. Do you know how many employers are on the Department of Labor's debarment list? If you've abused the H-1B, you are debarred. You as an employer can't use it. So usted es un empleador y usted abusa el programa, usted es prohibido de usarlo. Y el gobierno mantiene una lista. The government maintains a list. Do you know how many companies are on this list? 8. 8 whole companies in the last 3 years. 8. I think there's 1 or 2 in 2025. That's it. If there is so much abuse, why aren't people being debarred? Perhaps it's because there isn't that much abuse. Tal vez es porque no es tanto abuso. Tal vez. Perhaps that's it. By the way, again, I'll mention for my Facebook folks, Facebook is still, from my side, receiving this. So this is clearly a Facebook issue. The next thing, la próxima cosa, es el sorteo de la visa H-1B. It's the H-1B lottery. The H-1B lottery announced this morning by the Trump administration, but we've had warning that this was coming. And basically, it's strange. It's again probably illegal, but it's strange. And again, the Department of Homeland Security is taking more power on this than Congress allotted to them. Remember, I sued on the lottery a couple of years ago, and we sued them because they were accepting multiple applications for people, which we thought was illegal. They fought us. They won. We lost that case, except the next year they got rid of the duplicate applications. So we actually won, right? Sometimes you win in court, sometimes you win after. All that matters is that you win. The new lottery really is basically the higher salary that you have, the more opportunities you have to win the lottery. Now you say, this is great. This means just the highest paid people are going to have H-1Bs. Keep in mind, H-1Bs have a higher average wage across all H-1Bs than the average wage in the United States for similar jobs. They should get paid more than most U.S. workers. One, two. I know it sounds crazy to you, but it's true. Regarding the fees they paid, besides Trump's crazy free. But here's what's really, really important about the H-1Bs. There are a lot of H-1Bs that don't get paid large amounts of money, but which are essential to the economy. For example, doctors in rural areas. Did you know that almost 25% of the doctors in America are foreign born? And many of them, especially the new ones, are on H-1Bs. I'm just saying, you need these guys, and they're not making $1 million a year. They're making $110,000, $120,000 a year in rural areas, which I know to many Americans is a lot of money. but it's not what this Trump administration thinks it is. H-1Bs are also used for, get this, school teachers in rural areas who are making $50,000 or $60,000 a year. Good money in a rural area, but they're not going to get in the lottery now. So it's a bad idea. The lottery's been run fairly the last couple of years. This is a bad idea. And really, this is a Congress issue. This is not the executive branch cannot legislate. La rama ejecutiva no puede legislar. Ellos no pueden crear leyes. No pueden crear reglas que no son consistentes con la ley. So what we're going to see here is there's going to be litigation on the lottery as soon as this becomes a final rule. How do I know this? Because I'll probably be involved in it. So the H-1B lottery, people accuse me, well, you just want people on H-1Bs. No, I want U.S. employers to have access to the best people. And the H-1B visa is the only visa that exists. People took issue with the fact that I said there were 65,000 H-1Bs and 20,000 for U.S. master's degree folks. All right, so it's 85,000. I said 65,000, that's what they are in the lottery, plus the 20,000, which I also said. Interestingly enough, how many jobs are in the U.S. economy? It's like 65, 170 million people working. And you're complaining about this 85. Well, there's more than that because you have cap exempt. Yes, cap exempt. Why? Universities, scholars, research institutions, they hire the best people in the world. And if they had to limit that to the 60 or 85,000, we would have a serious education problem in the United States. Again, Congress thought about this. Congress legislated this. Congress can fix it tomorrow if they want to. And that's what the president should be doing. You know why that's not going to happen? Because people in Congress understand the utility of the visa H-1B. Okay, now, la última cosa, the last thing that I want to talk about today, and this is important, the last thing I want to talk about today is this Reddit post. There was a Reddit post put up a couple days ago, and I'm gonna put this in the stream. I'm gonna try to add it to the screen. I'm gonna share the screen. Let's see what we can do here. We're gonna add the screen. I'm gonna share this screen, and we're gonna put this post up. So here, this is great. So what we have here is the Reddit post from a soon-to-be former USCIS officer and supervisor. This is fascinating. This is really fascinating. And make this a little bit bigger here. This is fascinating. So this guy was a lawyer. His name is Watkins, because he put his name up here, Watkins Immigration. Apparently posts a lot. He's top one poster. This is fascinating because, for example, when Trump came on, we saw something interesting. Cuando Trump vino a ser presidente, algo cambió en inmigración. De repente, los casos de ciudadanía y residencia por familia estaban yendo rápido. We saw a massive decrease in processing times. In other words, for naturalization, went from like a year to 3 or 4 months. And green cards through family, mostly spouses, went from a year to 2 years to months. And we were thinking, well, this is kind of crazy. I wonder why. And we have an answer here in this Reddit post. If you get on and read it, he says it's because the new immigration people thought that if they did those cases, they would be able to put more people into deportation proceedings. And he said that the Immigration Service has issued 26,000 notices to appear in the first 6 months of the Trump administration, which is about 25,500 more than they did under the Biden administration, for people who applied for naturalization and green cards. Yep. Their goal, the reason they're going faster is because they want more people to be deported. And the reason that work permits and advanced paroles slowed down was because they were doing the other cases that could go faster. 1, 2, and this is fascinating, under the Biden administration, over half of the employment authorizations were done electronically. In other words, a human being never touched them. They met certain criteria and they're automatically issued. They turned that system off. So why is my work permit now taking 8 instead of 4 months? Because they turned off the automatic system. And everyone has to be reviewed individually. And at the same time, and he gives lots of interesting statistics here, like 30% of the officers have retired and left, like this guy. And there's a hiring freeze. So they're not hiring anybody. So think about that. Think about that. That is completely insane. Completely insane that's what's going on. It's completely insane. Go to that Reddit post. En este poste, la razón que casos están yendo rápido por ciudadanía y ajuste por esposa o esposo es porque pueden así identificar gente más rápido que pueden deportar. Y han puesto 26,000 personas en deportación, es que son 25,500 más que el año pasado, por USCIS, por gente aplicando cuando no son elegibles y aplicando bajo condiciones que no pueden ser aprobados. So you got it. They are actually going faster in some things y son más lentos en los permisos de trabajo porque apagaron el sistema que lo aprobaron electrónicamente. So they turned off the system that does things electronically. I mean, I told you guys from the beginning, the one thing they're going to do is slow down legal immigration. They're going to slow down legal immigration. That's their goal. That's what they want to do. And that is what they have done. Shocked? Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. This is exactly what han hecho exactamente lo que dijo que iban a hacer. Tratar de parar la inmigración legal, ponerlo más lento, hacer cosas más difíciles por los que quieren venir legalmente. Esto es el punto. No es un accidente que esas cosas que están pasando, es el punto. Okay, vamos a ver algunas preguntas. Let's go see some questions that we have. I think because somehow Facebook did something weird, and I apologize to my Facebook friends. We got a lot less viewers today and a lot less questions, and that's just strange. But Andrea, ¿cómo está? Mi amiga tuvo el C01 aprobado en mayo del año pasado, 2024, pero sigue esperando cita en Brasil. Eso no es normal. En Brasil, típicamente tienen citas en 4 a 6 meses. Debe contactar, si han cumplido la información por el centro de visas, la NBC, su abogado debe contactar a la NBC o el consulado para averiguar, porque eso es abnormal. Eso es abnormal. Esmeralda Ochoa, I'm one of the docket we put on hold, and yesterday I got the case being reviewed. Esmeralda, that would be fantastic news. It would be news to me. I was speaking yesterday with counsel in the case, the docket case, and as far as she knows, it's still on hold. They're still not doing anything. They have no word. But if I find something, obviously I'll say it right away. But the reason I'm not talking about it today is I have no news. Victor Ribe, thank you for being the have a misdemeanor on the record, disclose USCIS, receive a green card. You should, it is good practice to have it with you in your bag that you're carrying with you in case they ask at the airport. By the way, if that happens to you, if you travel and they ask about it, let you go, you can go to a website called cbp.gov TRIP, TRIP, or just Google TRIP. That's the Travel Redress Inquiry Program. And you can basically put in, hey, I'm a green card. This was disclosed. You're still stopping me. And usually within 6 months, it's resolved and you never get stopped again. TRIP, good piece of vision. Yeah, Disco Banger sees me on X. There you go. Aaron Corona, good afternoon. I renewed my DACA early and I got approved. Congratulations. That's what you should be doing. Remember, my rule, you're a year out, apply for DACA renewal. Pretty still valid? Well, it's technically not. You can carry the old one if you want. I mean, everybody's always worried about losing it. I get it. But you can carry the other one. It's still, technically it's still valid. And then switch to the new one when the time comes. Perla, I have a U pending and an NTA. I don't want to go to court. How can I let the court know that I went back to my own country? Actually, it's pretty easy. Probably hard for a non-lawyer to do. What a lawyer can do is a lawyer can send the court a notice and proof you've left the country and ask that the case either be terminated if you left the country before the NTA was issued and you have a stamp on your passport or proof that that's true, or that you be given voluntary departure because you've already left. So you probably want to hire a lawyer to do that, depending where you are. Just email me and I can send you a lawyer's name to get that done. Of course, if it's in Georgia, we can do it. Se pega la señal. Pero ese es un problema con Facebook. No es el problema conmigo. Vanessa, there you go. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate that. You're a rock star. All right. Expulso, regarding DACA, can you help me understand? Briefings were usually due August 29th. Okay. Yes, here's why. So the August 29th date is the first set of briefings. The last set of briefings were due at September 17th. All of that was pushed back a month because the government lawyer left and went to work for me. Sorry, but she's somebody I really love and think she'd be great on the staff. She's really, really good, really great lawyer. And now the government doesn't have her. You're welcome. So everything got pushed back a month. That's why I say October. Hopefully that's clear. Let's see. Side Shan, any news on exemption for physicians in a lawsuit? Do I have heard rumors, Side, that they're going to exempt all doctors? I mean, I've heard lots of rumors, but there's nothing that's true yet. And why exempt doctors and not exempt lawyers? Why not exempt accountants? Why not exempt everybody but software engineers, right? That's their whole thing is software engineers, which is just stupid because it's H-1B software engineers that run everything that Trump uses. It's kind of the way it is. The lawsuit is making its way forward. It's in great shape. And just stay tuned and it'll be announced soon. Thank you, Ori. Good to be back. This is live on YouTube. This is live on YouTube. It's live. Oh, Facebook is back. There you go. Come over to your YouTube, everyone. There you go. Thank you so much for reposting that. Why Hori? Quick question. Asking for a friend. It's my friend. Spouse came on a K-1 about 15 years ago. Got married within a year. Husband did not want to file 45. Husband died 3 months ago. She can. She married the guy. He can do the widow petition. Absolutely. She's good to go. She needs help. Give us a call. That's really outrageous. He brought on a fiance, basically held her hostage here. That's abuse, man. That's abuse. Marcia Miranda, what happens with DACA recipients that are arrested? Well, are they arrested for a crime? They're arrested for a crime. They deal with the system like everybody else. If ICE just picks them up for whatever reason, you call a lawyer and we get them out. Because ICE should not be arresting DACA recipients who've committed no crime. So, for example, in the raid in Hyundai last week, or 2 weeks ago now, it's 3 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago. It's just, everything just kind of comes together sometimes. They arrested 2 DACA recipients. One guy they let go a couple of days later. The other guy they held on to. Why? Had a DUI. And his DACA was expiring a week later, and he, of course, hadn't filed an extension because he had a DUI. That's why. You got to know the facts. You got to know the facts behind it. Look, don't drink and drive. That's a simple fact. Hello, counsel. What is the rate of denials N4 or greater? Oh, yeah, they're definitely denying more N400s, but they only release statistics in like December for the fiscal year. So we won't know how many. We had one denied. This is great. It was denied. This is the denial. We believe that you are already a citizen. I have to tell you, that was the denial. They didn't send a request for evidence. They didn't send information, ask, hey, can you confirm whether you're a citizen? They just denied it. Now, you would think, well, Cook, why didn't you figure that out? Well, we did figure it out, that he's not a citizen. So basically, he was adopted and got a green card in like 88. And back then, even though your parents were citizens, and you didn't become a citizen if you were adopted by U.S. citizens. Now you do. Since the Child Citizenship Act of 2000, you do. The day you become a resident is the day you become a citizen. And that's how stupid USCIS is. They didn't look at the date the dude was adopted by his citizen parents. So now we got to waste our clients' time and our clients' money fixing a USCIS mistake. Why? Because Trump closed the ombudsman's office, which is the office we normally would have gone to fix this for free. It's an attack on legal immigration, folks. I'm telling you. And they don't have the best people working on these things sometimes. Natasha Bonilla, hi. We sent the I-130 for my husband recently. He is DACA and did an advanced parole. He has a deportation in absentia in 11. We've personally had many cases approved with the 212. And you might want to try a motion to reopen first. He was 11. How can it be through his fault? How can it be through his fault? So, it's 2 bites of the apple. If you do the motion first and lose, you can still file the waiver. You file the waiver and it's denied, you can go back and do the motion. So you get 2 bites of the apple. It's just that, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. You're going to get a green card faster if you file the 212 and gets approved, though, rather than waiting for the motion to reopen. So, call. We can talk about it. New Jersey. a little thirsty. A little fresca. ¿Cuándo tendremos una respuesta sobre el derecho de la fianza? Oh, I almost forgot. I almost forgot to talk about this. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. How did I almost forget about this? It's crazy. Let's put this up here. Can't believe I almost forgot about this. Bonds, immigration bonds. Let's talk about immigration. Put a note. How did I forget about this? Immigration bonds. Okay, as everybody, como todos saben, ojalá, la Junta de Inmigración de Apelación puso una decisión diciendo que inmigrantes que entraron indocumentados, aunque han estado aquí por 20 años, no son elegibles por fianza, hace como 2 semanas. Inmediatamente dije, eso es ilegal, eso es una mala interpretación, pero lo que tiene que hacer para ir contra de esto es de poner una queja en el Corte Federal bajo un programa que se llama Habeas Corpus. Habeas Corpus es una moción antigua en la ley, ¿no? Desde Inglaterra, donde básicamente el hombre que tiene el cuerpo tiene que producirlo y explicar por qué lo tiene. Ya hay 40 jueces que alrededor del país, del cortes distritales, que han dicho que esta interpretación es mala y los hombres tienen que tener fianza. So immigration bonds, Board of Immigration Appeals, and truly one of it, and I know Keith Hunsucker, he wrote this decision. I've known Keith for more than 30 years. I cannot believe they talked him into writing this decision and putting his name on it. It is truly the dumbest decision I have seen come out of the BAA, and that is saying something. Keith, if you're listening, I'm really sorry. You probably feel bad about how that decision came out. It's awful. It's dumb. And it doesn't follow the law. So, but the only way around it is to file a petition for writ of habeas corpus. Then it's called the Great Writ in the law. It is the writ that has existed since, 1066. And William the Conqueror signed his agreement with the lords over who can go to court and who can hold the king accountable. And this writ has been filed so far by hundreds of times. We've certainly filed a bunch of them. 40 judges have issued rulings so far saying that this decision by the Board of Immigration Appeals is legally incorrect. No court, to my knowledge, has upheld it. None. That's how bad it is. So you have the administration telling the judges how to rule, and we have to go to, these aren't real judges, of course, they're administrative hearing officers. We have to go to real judges to hold the administration accountable. We have a bunch of these pending. Once every district court has a case or two, then you don't have to get a habeas anymore. You can just go to court and cite the case and give me my bond. Otherwise, I'm going to file a habeas and ask for fees from you. So that's an answer to your question. Ese es el punto. Ya puede obtener las fianzas. Ya son las oportunidades de hacerlo. Let's see. Espera un momentico, estoy mirando. Aquí estaba, cuando tenemos respuesta sobre el derecho de la fianza, ya está viniendo New Jersey, ya está vivo. Uriel, would you say that I should do a FOIA before I apply for advanced parole? Well, Uriel, have you ever had an encounter with the Immigration Service other than filing your DACA? If not, then why do a FOIA? All you're going to get is your own documents back. But there's no risk in doing a FOIA, all right? If you need to do an ICE or CBP, you can use a PO box. You can have a lawyer use their addresses. You don't have to be afraid of that. Can I still travel with advanced parole? Absolutely, Mary. There's no problem in traveling with advanced parole. Have a great trip. Everything will be fine. I promise. I have an H-1B interview in Mexico City in November. No, you don't. Not unless you're paying $100,000, maybe. Neo, we don't know. The litigation will be resolved by November, though. So you will know before you go whether you have to bring a $100,000 check or not. Yeah, I know it's crazy, right? Any news of the exemptions for physicians? Again, the rumor, but nothing more. Good morning, Charles. Hope you're doing well. My question is, will USCIS eventually have to adjudicate first-time advanced parole without legal entry? Well, yeah. They can't keep pending forever because we could file a mandamus, obviously. And really, at a year mark, you can file a mandamus if you want to do that. But, they just might start denying them then. But they will eventually do it. I do. I really believe that. They don't want to do it, but they eventually will. Any updates on 61 waivers and why are some being left behind? I noticed that there is some inconsistency in the approvals. In other words, that some cases are being approved and been filed later than older cases. I can't explain that other than that Reddit post, which reflects that 30% of the officers have quit. So maybe that case was on an officer who quit and that still sitting on their desk while the other officers getting new cases. That's the only thing I can figure. Immigration has never been a first in, first out agency. Daniela, my mom is getting ready to do consular processing marriage based on a green card. Brought my sister and I as minors. The idea of being detained. Oh no! If your mom brought you, she is going to be denied for what's called smuggling. So at the interview, she'll be denied. 100% should be denied. So just understand, when she gets denied, she'll have to file another 601A waiver. That will take 24 to 28 months. It'll be approved. If the other 601A was approved, this will be approved, and she would have come back. But she's going to be stuck outside the country for a couple of years, Daniela. That's just reality. Rich, any update on 61 waivers? Or I already answered that question. Express mobility. Mr. Cook had DACA. I'm one of the ones been stuck in limbo. Read the check status. It says processing time 7 months. All right. So, question: did you let it expire and then a year later renew it? So are you one of the ones that have a gap of a year? So you're waiting for it, and that you're just waiting. It is just a limbo. But what I would do, have your husband file the I-130, because worst case scenario, you can do the 601A waiver. That's your worst case scenario. But get the I-130 filed. Absolutely, express mobility. Anita, I've noticed the 601 is going very fast, but this month looks like they got stopped and barely moving. Again, 30% drop in staff. 30% drop in staff is all that can be explained there. Sarai, I'm married U.S. citizen. We married for 2 years in December. Wait a few months to file for AOS. Well, honestly, you're not going to get a green card before December if you file now. So I would just file now. Sarai, get it done. Get it done. Absolutely. How long are H-1B change of status I'm taking on average? It's like 5 to 6 months if you don't pay the extortion fee. 5 to 6 months if you don't pay the extortion fee. My favorite, thank you, Patricia. It's very kind of you. Hello, Auntie. Good to see you. Counselor. Soy de Chorillos, Lima. Pero vives en Wisconsin. ¿Por qué, hermano? ¿Tú puedes vivir en Chorillos comiendo mariscos todo el día? ¿Qué haces, hermano? Yo no soy ciudadano peruano todavía, pero estoy sacando mi residencia en diciembre. Ahí está. Para ser ciudadano tengo que vivir ahí por 3 años y no puedo hacer eso en este punto de mi vida. Pero ser residente residente, ¿cómo se llama? Hay un nombre especial por esto. Por medio de mi negocio allá. Tengo un negocio, tengo un vivero. El vivero Flores en el Mar en Pisco. Ven para sus flores y sus plantas. Erika Martínez. Hola. ¿Qué es la visa T? ¿Qué pruebas piden para eso? La visa T es por los que han sido víctimas de ser traficados por sexo o labor. Por ejemplo, usted vino con un coyote y el coyote básicamente te secuestró y te forzó de cocinar y limpiar. Esa es la visa T. O estás en los estados y un empleador no te pague por mucha obra. Eso puede ser una visa T. O, por supuesto, estás traído para obra sexual, que es horrible. También es una visa T. La visa T viene con muchos perdones por entradas legales, pero hay una línea de varios años por la residencia. I'm asking for a friend. I know. Will Trump give work to ARCTR workers? ARCTR. I have no idea what an ARCTR worker is. I'm imagining that's a typo, but is it like a Frankfurter worker? They're making hot dogs? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm really sorry. I'll look for you, boys review and more down below. Hola, para la visa T, ¿qué pruebas pide inmigración? Well, tiene que tener su historia y evidencia de lo que te pasó. Es lo que tiene que tener. Ana Laura Pantoja, 2 questions. 1, any way to get legal status for a U.S. citizen child with no legal entry? Not unless you are the beneficiary of a petition filed before April 30, 2001. Generally not. Or you yourself have a parent who's a resident or citizen and can do a 601A waiver. 2, any way to get legal status for my stepchild if I have DACA and I have legal entry? Yeah. If she was under 18 when you married her, she's your child. She just files a green card for you the day she turns 21. Do it. I don't know. Is she 21 yet? She can file for you. Congratulations. And we can help. Call for an appointment. Daniel Lopez. Hi, Cook. I have an interview coming up. Immediate relative case. Can I update my 260 my interview? No, you can't update it. You have to bring it. What I would do is I bring it to the interview and say there's an error on my form. My wife's last name is actually X. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to explain why that you got your wife's last name wrong, for God's sakes. And that will lead to other questions. But yeah, there's no way to fix it before the interview. That's locked at this point if your interview's set. Good morning, Attorney Cook. For the removal of conditions of residency 71, should there be an interview? Almost everybody's getting interviewed these days. Almost everybody. Should the copy of the ID of the spouse be sent with the package? Yes, they should send an ID. And of course, the spouse has to attend the interview, 100%. Veal, Castori, good to see you. Assuming that this 100 is not litigated out, it will be. Most would prefer a labor market test in addition to the HLTOP with a small administrative history. No, but the point, Vic, is that's not going to happen. They want the money. They want what they want is companies not to bring you. That's what they want. They don't want you here. This is all about not wanting immigrants in the country. It is. You say they want the right kind of immigrants. No. If they wanted the right kind of immigrants, they would work with Congress to fix the law to get the right kind of immigrants. No, they want no immigrants. And this is one of their fixes. So no, I don't see a small infantry. And any increase Congress gives is going to be big. Hey, Rich, mine took three months. Yeah, that's 3 months for someone waiver. That's unfortunately normal right now. I have DACA, married to a U.S. citizen, Kenya. Can I start my process to my green card? Absolutely. You need to do your advanced parole. Do your advanced parole, my dear. Get it done so you can get a green card. Get the I-130 filed, file the advanced parole right now. Odiel, reason why I ask is when I was 18, I got to put up on deportation. I got put out of jail and immigration. But I guess they dismissed my case. Well, then you should do a FOIA or have a lawyer do your FOIA to find out what's going on, Odiel. See what's going on. Just say it'll calm your mind. Nicole, can I take the vaccines before leaving to the interview in my country? No, you can take you just can take the proof you have the vaccines. The doctor there can take vaccines in the United States. Absolutely. Probably cheaper to get them in your home country, though. Eric Ortiz, thank you for, you're welcome, Erica. It's my pleasure. Are they still approving AOS for Biden paroled at border? Yeah, because a parole is a parole is a parole. As far as I know, one we filed got approved. And Wendy, Wendy, let's see. My mom came in 98. I went to Mexico in 2000. Came back in 01. She came back in 01. My brother's now in the Marines. Does mom have a chance of getting a... No, your mom has a permanent bar. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say. So she's not going to get a green card until she lives out of the country for 10 years. Agricultural. A Farker, a farmer hotel restaurant. That's hilarious. I never heard it. What did you call it? A Farker? That is hilarious. I'm going to go back up here and try to find that. Now that I know an arcator, agricultural farm. He is not. Trump can't give work permits. Only the Congress can do that. So no, my friend, that's not going to happen. Yeah, that's not going to happen. It does say, I got a note, by the way, that can't post comments from somewhere. Facebook profiles. Facebook profiles can't do it. Oh, Facebook set the privacy to friends only by default. My streams are public on Facebook. All right, well, we'll go in and try to figure that out later when our stream is over. That's Facebook screwing with stuff always. Let's take a look here. And any other questions? We've got Jesus. How does the new wage level work for the H-1B? That's a question, Jesus. I have to go back and read those. It just came out this morning, and I haven't had a chance to really delve into it. But I'm going to get into it when we're done here, and next week I'll talk about that. We are waiting for my wife's AP to be approved so she can AOS. Been waiting since January. Should we go ahead and file the I-130 now? You can. I would hold off just a little longer. I would hold off a little longer. No need to do it now. Any news on new DACA applications? No news, which is why I didn't really talk about it. And finally, Reliance claims My dad came in 92 and went back to Mexico in 93. He filed for safety. There's a police report in Mexico. And he came back in 99, hasn't come back since. My sister's a U.S. citizen. Your dad does not have a permanent bar, but unless he came back legally, your sister's not going to be able to help him. Hernan, good morning, sir. What can I do regarding a deportation order from 20 years ago? Any options? First thing you got to do is get your file, figure out why you got a deportation order, and meet with a lawyer and see if there is options. But we need to look at the file. This is why we do consults. You know, sometimes you just got to see the file. Sometimes some questions are very easy, but some questions are hard, and that's kind of a hard question. So you can reach me at 404-816-8611. Puede llamarme a las 404-816-8611 para una consulta. Me puede mandar un email con cualquier pregunta que tenga a ccook@immigration.net. Y por favor, sígueme por el Twitter. Te veremos la semana siguiente. Yo soy Charles Cook, el abogado fundador de Cook Baxter. Te veremos pronto. Hasta luego. See you guys later. Have a great week.